Here we are before a classic English country house with the most beautiful piece of French Art Nouveau. And at the end of the 19th century, Art Nouveau was a movement that was really taking Europe by storm. So I've got to ask, what's your connection? How do you own such a beautiful piece?
It has traveled a very, very long way. It comes from Kyiv in Ukraine. And my grandmother bought it, I think 75, maybe 80 years ago, before the Second World War. My mother and my grandmother went to the market, to the food market, just to, weekly shop. And when they were leaving the market, all of a sudden they spotted this vase and they bought it. I don't know how much they paid. It stayed in the family all this time. It survived the Second World War. My grandfather was fighting at the front. He survived. My mother was stranded with her relatives and she spent years after Nazi occupation. And then when they came back to Kyiv in 1945 and they saw this big bundle, and inside the bundle was all their crockery and on top of it was this vase. No. So it survived all those trials and tribulations.
We actually discovered what it might be completely by accident, because I went to Berlin for my friend's wedding, and I popped into a lovely little Art Nouveau and Art Deco museum there, and I saw a vase that looked strikingly similar to this one, especially this amber color and also the patterns. And I thought, oh, what's going on there? And I looked at the artist, and it was Émile Gallé. So I came back home to London, and we did a little bit of internet research, and we looked at the sign at the bottom, and apparently one of Émile Gallé's signatures looked like that. So your question really today is, are you right? Yeah, basically.
You're not sure, are you?
No.
No.
You're right. And when we look underneath, you mentioned this glorious mark, which you couldn't quite read, but actually it's all there. And inside, we've got this wonderful fancy script signature, which the minute I saw it, I knew said Gallé. Émile Gallé, at the end of the 19th century, was one of those artists who really took the movement of Art Nouveau in France to a whole new level. It is what we would term a cabochon cameo. And by cabochon, it has everything. I mean, this vase really isn't short of anything for you. You've got these applied pads of colour onto the centres of the sunflowers. Internally, they've included foil with each pickup and colour of glass. And then the whole thing has been carved and acid cut and worked and treated to produce this beautiful piece that has influences of the Far East, influences of Japan. It's such a piece of aesthetic art, it's breathtaking. This piece is around 1890. Well, it's good, but how good?
Tell us, please.
Tell us.
Well, if you had to go out and replace this vase, you are looking at something in the region of £8,000 to £12,000.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.